Have you ever been told to just man up, to just tough your way out of any whatever situation that you're currently in, no matter how difficult it might be? I think this stems from a lack of understanding about the word resilience. And ancient people had it right, I think. So in Latin, the word resilience comes from resiliere in Latin, which means to be like flexible, to return to its proper shape or whatever, kind of like a spring. Whenever you bend a spring, it'll bend, and then when you let go, it'll go back to its former shape. Resilience should be something similar to that, not some unbreaking stone that is always just strong, right? Humans aren't going to always be strong. And I think I heard a really great quote. I don't remember what podcast it was on, but someone said that it shouldn't be man up, it should be human up. Because whenever we're sentient and we're human, we can we can be more flexible in our thought process, in our planning to get to what we want. So, for example, if my goal was to be the most articulate person on earth, and I failed once, and I just kept trying to do the same thing again and again where I was failing, I mean, sure, you can consider that resilient, but if I'm doing the same exact thing and failing the same exact way every single time, I would argue that that's more like insanity. And the place where resilience comes into play here is that you can be flexible enough to adjust course to get what you want. And I think there's a beauty in that because in a way we're all capable of being resilient, whereas it's I would say it's physically impossible for someone to be just strong all the time. Not everyone is like David Goggins, I guess, and can and can just have that unbreakable will. And yeah, so this week we're going to be going over a bunch of different uh, applications of resilience. I'm going to be talking to my daughter at some point about explaining to her what resilience is to a 6 year old. So she'll probably have some great questions about the concept as well. Um, what we're doing here, we're trying to become as articulate as humanly possible, and we're doing that by practicing through consistent practice of telling stories, just using a better vocabulary, pretty much. And so this concept for this week is resilience, and we've done in the past sovereignty, nuance, authenticity, and in my case, since I'm the one making these videos, I've been able to be much more articulate whenever it comes to using words that I've covered in the series. So that's the goal for me here. For you, I want to be a good input in your life so that you can improve the quality of your outputs. So as part of my practice today, I'm going to be talking about a story that relates to resilience. In this story, let's rewind the clock back about 10 years. I'd failed Calc 2 for the second time. And I just remember it was just devastating because I was going to lose my scholarship because of this. Um, and that ended up being the cascading effect that made me drop out for the first time. I ended up passing the class a few years later, but that was not be. So I want to get back to the point here: resilience. How did I get back on track after failing calculus 2 twice? And it's funny because it all has to do with the goal state. You need to have goals in order to do anything in the present. It's very difficult to do something in the present when you don't have a concrete vision of what you want in the future. And getting really distracted right now. I'm getting text messages all over the place. Yeah, I don't do any edits in these videos. No music. I might add some music later in the future, but as of right now, I just want to be as transparent as possible and be accountable for my articulacy. Because if I just keep putting edits, cuts everywhere, I never have any motivation to speak more than 5 seconds at a time. So yeah, trying to get back on track here, telling the story of me failing Calc 2 for the second time. The place that resiliency comes in is that I did go into deep depths of despair because of this situation. My whole entire identity at the time was that I was this, I guess, relatively smart guy in my opinion. I had a pretty high self-esteem at the time, and it really dropped me down to rock bottom, where I questioned my entire reality. Like, am I smart enough to do this? Am I capable enough to um, basically be a success in life, make the money that I want to make? Am I enough to, or am I just the type of person that needs to work in a restaurant and be a sushi chef for the rest of his life? That's what I was doing. I was a sushi chef at the time, and that was at that time I was doing it for about 6 to 8 years. Actually, when I failed, I was in my third year of being a sushi chef. So at the time, I was pretty much in the weeds with this whole restaurant career thing, if you can call it that. But yeah, it was really scary, just having to drop out, and then I subsequently just did sushi for years after that. A few years, I ended up doing it for a total of 8 years. But after about three or four more, after that initial second fail, after the second failure of Calc 2, I took calculus again, and this time I was in fear for my life because I was severely depressed. I didn't know where I was going in life, but I knew I did not want to do sushi anymore. So that fear is really what drove me to create a concrete goal for myself. And that goal at the time was to pass calculus 2. I didn't know what I wanted to do after that. I just knew I had to pass this course to not only prove to myself that I'm capable of more, but that I can achieve something. And after passing Calc 2 that time, I did actually restore confidence in myself. It was really pivotal in me doing the things that I did later in the future to get to where I am now, making more money than I ever thought possible, moving across the country with a beautiful family. And it's just, it really is all about flexibility. And I think the ancients had it right whenever they uh, picked up this word and used it for like kind of like a synonym for strength in a way. So yeah, I'm going to be telling some more stories about this in the upcoming week, and then we'll be doing a vote on another word. So that's it for today. I'll see you next time.